Hi everyone. So today I'm going to review a mini series na ang title ay Under the Banner of Heaven. Ang bida ay si Andrew Garfield, and it's about the Mormon Church. And it's a crime thriller kind of series. This series is however is kind of slow. It's asking questions a lot more. Yeah, it's asking questions, it's challenging one's beliefs. It's more on like that rather than it being a crime thriller. I can compare it to the movie na Silence, na andun din si Andrew Garfield, yung bida sa Taken, si Liam Neeson, and then yung sa Star Wars, si Adam Driver. And yung bida, si Andrew Garfield dito sa Under the Banner of Heaven is a Mormon. And he is the one who's taking lead in investigating a murder case. So, if you haven't watched the series, I advise you to stop watching now kasi the following things that I will say will be spoilers. So, spoilers ahead. And then I encourage you to watch it first, and then come back here and maybe let's have a talk about it. You can drop your comments in the comment section. We can discuss from an outsider, kasi I'm not a Mormon. I don't know anything about the Mormon belief. It's only through hearsay and the news and the people around me. I don't even have close friends that are Mormons. In general, it's not painting the Mormons as people that are bad, or the series didn't paint the Mormons like they are the antagonist in this. Hindi siya typical na Christian propaganda movie, like ng the God's not dead, na pag atheist it's always the assholes, and it's always pag atheist ang character assholes, drug addicts, and so on and so forth. So what is the movie about? So it's about a murder. Doon nagsimula ang story, doon nag-roll ang ball. May dalawang Mormon na namatay. Pumasok yun si bida, si Andrew Garfield, and siya yung nag-investigate doon. Na found out niya na it's deeper pala than just a simple murder case. It's a lot deeper kasi involved na yung Mormon Church, and then involved na din yung fundamentalist na Latter-day Saints. Involved na hindi ibig sabihin na napatayin yung mag-ina, kasi yun yung victims dito sa movie. Involved in a way, involved indirectly to the problem, involved indirectly to what happened. Si Andrew Garfield in this mini series discovered a few characters, fellow Mormons, na in his mind is nagone astray. They are dealing in this kind of Mormonism that are fundamentalist na belief. So fundamentalist na Mormonism sa kanya is yung polygamous relationship, having quarrels with the government, kasi ang history kasi daw sa Mormonism is riddled with mga patayan because lagi nilang nababangga yung the American government. Yun yung fundamentalist na discover ni Andrew Garfield, and na shock siya. Na question niya yung kanyang own belief kasi the way the fundamentalists argue is that this is history, this is fact. I mean, I have evidence for my belief that these things happen, and why are you doing the things that are opposite to what John Smith has taught us? Yun yung mga questions ng mga fundamentalist sa kay Andrew Garfield. Doon nag-revolve around ang story, and I say na it's a really good series, if you enjoy learning the faiths of others because you want to understand why people believe what they believe, you want to understand people more, you want to understand politics more. This is the movie na you would want to watch to understand what is really happening in our society. Here's what I learned after watching the movie. Learned ba? Or napaponder ako, Kasi the whole time marami kasing marami kasing mga scenes doon na napapag-usapan ang mga laws. And they say na that's just a human law, And we are above kasi we have the God-given laws. And napaisip ako na when laws and civilizations nag-start tayo, ito na to personal ko na lang to na opinion. I think when we started developing our own civilizations and building laws, a lot of people were jealous about the laws. A lot. Yung mga taong hindi nabigyan ng tsansa na mapakinggan sila, mga tao na feel nila na just because I'm part of the minority, hindi na ako nabibigyan ng ganoon na privilege sa law na yun. So, we were developing laws, right? From the early civilization. So, reading history, taking in data, analyzing those data, and then they come up with a law. Ganun 'di ba yung proseso natin ng paggawa ng any state laws. And here they are, the Mormons and other religions that are in the minority, like the Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't like it. So, instead of them fighting for the law, going to the Congress and voting for people na magpasa ng law na gusto nila, they stamped God into their own laws to make them above every other laws na gawa ng tao. I think that's just what happens. Basically what happens in our world. And in a way, napaisip ako na our government itself, like in the Philippines government, it's some kind of a religion. We pay taxes, they pay the tithes in their church. We have laws, they have laws in their church. We regularly update our papers and all para belong ka pa din sa society. Like COMELEC, you can't vote if wala kang COMELEC card. Just like any other churches, mga laws in their own church as well. So in a way, napaisip ako na state is just a one big church, and the foundation of each state na mga laws is based on science, based on logic, based on philosophy, based on history, based on human struggles, based on previous stories. We put them into law. Nag-aaway-away yung mga Congress and Senate to make that bill pass. And there are the religious. And they found a loophole. And the loophole is they're just human laws. We have God. This is approved by God. And this is our law. Mag-marry ng marami, polygamous relationship. Bakit hindi nyo pinapasa ito? Ito yung commandment ng Diyos namin . Ito yung law na binigay ng Diyos namin . Bakit mo kami i-imprison or i-criminalize just for having many wives? Yun yung reasoning nila. I think that's just what happened in the past. Na they don't like our religion, they don't like the state. But not all religions found our human laws as inferior or something. I bet there are religions out there that makes the human laws like a complement to God's laws. So about the story, let's go back to the story. So yeah, 2 Mormons were murdered, mag-ina sila. Ang pagpunta ng mga pulis doon, nakita nila yung tatay na duguan na nasa labas ng bahay. So immediately siya ang primary suspect. But turns out the more time na they spent talking to the person, turns out hindi siya yung pumatay. So they ask him more questions. Turns out this guy, the husband, comes from a very popular na family. They are the Laffertys. And they're really popular to the point na even yung mga sons niya may mga kanya-kanyang mga malalaki negosyo. May parang construction, may tiling, may chiropractor, something. And they're a big family, and they are Mormons. And at first they were shown as like a very very perfect na family. The kids are running everywhere in their backyard. Ang laki ng lot nila, ang laki ng bahay nila, ang ganda ng setting, parang nandun talaga tayo sa heaven. Pinakita yon. One day nag-decide yung papa ng malaking family na yon to like go on a mission. So ang matitira is yung mga anak, puro mga lalaki, and they have wives of their own and they have children on their own. And then, ang problem, doon nagsimula ang problem. The problem starts with really money. They were having problems with money. And one of their family member is struggling to sustain his own family kasi hindi na siya makapag-loan. The reason why he can't loan is his other brother na temporarily nag-lead sa family kasi wala yung papa nila, nagka-problema sa tax kasi hindi niya binabayaran yung tax nila. Parang lumabas ang idea niya na why are we paying taxes? Why is there like a federal tax na kailangan singilin ako every month? I own this house and yet I'm paying the government taxes. So parang nagwonder siya, and doon nagsimula yung parang activism niya to fight the government. Plano niya tumakbo para gumawa ng anti-tax law. Because of that, it gave problems to his brothers. Yung isang brother niya dinakip, yung isang brother niya kinuhaan ng mga ari-arian kasi naniningil na yung government US government And then the brother went to the bank to get a loan, hindi na siya na-approve kasi rinig na all over town na they are being anti-government. So now they are in shit, they are bankrupt. One of their brothers decided to search the real Mormonism kasi sa reason niya hindi dapat tayo pinapatawan ng tax and also pinuntahan niya yung mga Mormons, mga fundamentalist Mormon, and learn from their beliefs. So may mga napuntahan siya, may mga na-learn siya, and may mga nakuha siya mga books. And turns out what they've learned pala is the corrupted version daw, sabi niya, the corrupted version of Mormonism. The real Mormonism is this and that. The way I look at it is like yung mga modern, yung mga Mormons now na mga kilala mo, it's like they've being handed down the children's book version of the Bible. All the things that are wonderful, that are nice, never the heart, the real Bible na nandun lahat. May mga incest, may sex, may slavery and all, may patayan. Parang hindi yon binigay sa mga, for me that's how I see it. But of course, they were also taught about their dark history. They were persecuted, they were hunted down by the government in their past meaning sa time ni John Smith. So they were hunted down by the government kasi because they were persecuted, they have different beliefs. John Smith is a fraud, something like that in the past. So hinahabol sila. Na-discover yun ng brother, and yun, na-plant sa utak niya ang concept of having many wives. Their reasoning is si John Smith himself has many wives, even married 33 wives, and then even married a 14-year-old. Yun yung history ni John Smith na pilit binubura ng mga modern na mga Mormons. They want it to be hidden from history kasi they don't want people to learn na they are fundamentally polygamous na religion, and they are always anti-government kasi hindi sila nagbabayad ng tax. And he created his own parang school of Mormonism. Tinawag yung School of Prophets. May mga nag-gather siyang mga Mormons din na in a way nag-agree sa kanya, or not totally agree but starting to understand. So una, when I saw this episode, parang nagulat ako sa reaction ni brother when he discovered na polygamous pala sila, na anti-tax pala sila. Kung ako yun, I would be disgusted with my faith kasi eto pala yung background ko, eto pala yung foundation ng aking religion, na ganito pala ka-dark ang history namin. May mga scenes kasi doon na in story na pinatay yung mga Mormons ng mga governments and militiamen way back. Pero there are other stories din na hindi binanggit sa kanila na they were also doing the killing. For example, may pinatay silang isang village because they want to take over that village. Pinatay nila lahat, even the women and children. There were also written down in their history na nagpretend sila as Indians, like the Native Americans, na sila yung pumatay sa isang village to make an impression that it was the Indians. They even painted themselves like Native Americans to fool the people na it's the Indians who were doing the massacre, but in fact they were Mormons. So they have a very dark history, and they were never, hindi yun itinuro sa mga modern Mormons now, and it was in this series, it was revealed in this series na ganito ka-dark ang past ng mga Mormons. So yun, nag-establish siya ng grupo, and they were teaching this and that, and they are like really, and they were arming themselves up. So may mga armas na sila. So it's like a mini ISIS, their wives notify their elders na, hey, there are groups of people that are doing this. Ano yung magiging advice mo? And the murder victim, nagsumbong siya. Pumunta siya sa mga elders niya. And doon, instead of siguro ang pinaka-best na advice the elders would give the Mormons is i-report mo siya sa police and go separate kasi nagiging terrorist na yung husband mo. Get away from them as fast as you can kasi they are becoming evil na. Instead of doing that, the Mormons, the elders, even advised the woman na siya ang inatasan ko ng Diyos na i-fight back ang mga brothers, na if hindi ka magiging successful, burden mo yan, hindi ka makakapasok sa heaven. Only then you can enter heaven if you can convert these people back to the real Mormonism. And see how fucked up that is. And that's why hindi siya bad Mormons versus good Mormons. Even the good Mormons are doing the bad decisions in this movie kasi they could have helped her not being murdered, and yet they pushed her to the point na napatay talaga siya kasi harmful people na yung mga binabangga niya. There's a blame sa elders na to kasi nandun sa kanilang powers, and then isa pang problema sa mga elders is they are too concerned about their status in the community. They're too concerned about the shame it will give them. They will cover it up. They will silence people. They will try their best para hindi sila mapahiya. Kasi nga, ang context nito is pangit na yung image ng Mormons at that time in the 80s. And eto pa yung scandal na to, it will make things really worse for us. So, worse in a sense na siguro baka bumalik na naman sila sa dati, na i-discriminate na naman sila, hahabulin na naman sila ng government and all. They have that fear, and I understand the context of it, but I can't really side with them kasi I can do better as a kung ako siguro yung mga elders, I can protect the women, and in any way I can. But they are more concerned about their church, and I wouldn't blame them because obviously they are children of God. Obviously they would put God first before everything else, before that baby, before that wife. Parang may revelation sa last na in order for them to stop this war with the US government, they have to lie. So in reality, they are polygamous, fundamentally polygamous na religion, but they just keep it a secret. They will just say in front of the government na no, we are gonna stop this practice para wala na tayong problema, but they're just gonna continue it in secret. So I think that's the reason why meron pa ding ang modern na Mormons versus the fundamentals are kinda working together in a way, kasi it's like there's like a hidden agreement somewhere na those fundamentalists are Mormons as well, and only the elders know that they are Mormons as well. They were just kept secret kasi we have to compromise. It's really contrasting to atheists, why I think religion is really a good tool to make really good people if it's used in good. Like the family, the Lafferty family, they are very religious and they are very successful people. I mean, they are the big people in town, And you can see that in our society as well. The more religious you are, the more higher you are in our society, kasi you are very successful. And I think that's because of how they were molded as a kid. They have very strict rules in the house. They are very strict. It's really black and white in the household of a religious person. Kaya madali talagang maging successful. Isa pa, andun din yung parang idea of sacrificing, and kapag binigyan ka ng challenge ni Lord, or kapag pinapahirapan ka, that means Lord is really testing you and really loves you. And I mean, ako I would easily give up. I would easily give up if there are hurdles along the way. If grabe na yung as an atheist, kasi I don't see the point in me having to go through that much pain. I would want it to end. That's how easy it is for me as well to choose peace over a lot of suffering. And it's opposite with the religious people, and I think that's the reason why they tend to really achieve in life. And it doesn't mean, it's not me saying na therefore they're true, therefore their way of life is the best way of life. No. What I can say is, it's a really good tool. Kasi if a lot of people are really lax like me, for example, great yung parents niya, and isa ako sa mga anak na I want to be a photographer. Lahat ng mga anak from atheist na parents siguro magiging photographer. I mean, I'm not saying that the photography is any less to doctors, but mga mahihirap na trabaho, di ba? Hindi ka naman siguro nahihirapan kung developer ka lang. I bet you'd be really mahihirapan kung doktor ka, or kung police ka, or kung military ka, kung teacher ka. Not so much with photography and web development, di ba? So that's what I'm talking about. Religion creates people that are really, or magaganda ang product ng tao na trinain na ganito. They are great people. Not so much with people that are free to choose what they want. Since I'm free to choose what I want, I don't want to be a great person. I just want to be the person that I want to be. I want to be a programmer. Ang daming parang pressure sa akin dati, kasi I was the smart kid among the family. So I was expected to take harder na mga courses, engineering, civil engineering and all. No, I don't like it. I want to be a computer developer. I want to be in front of a computer lang. So hindi ako napadala sa pressure ng family. And I could have been really great if I was really pressured to do the things I don't like. Yun yung I think is ang advantage of having a community that pressures you to wake up and work, versus me, a person na walang anything that would really push me to go, but only myself, only the family that I have and the friends that I have. And it's up to me to decide. It's really all up to me. Hindi ko ma-imagine na makaka-produce ng isang hardworking, very achiever na atheist. But that's just me, because I am not an achiever and hardworking na atheist. But you could prove me wrong by showing me people that are atheists but then are really great as well. But I know there are a lot of our scientists are atheists. So I am maybe already wrong. But that's what I see. That's what, siguro eto na lang, it molds people into something to be greater than themselves. They could just be a typical na guy, but nagiging greater sila because of their training. I'm not saying that their training is good or anything. I'm just saying it is a tool to produce good out of an average person. But here's the flip side. It can produce crazies like these people in this TV series. And eto na nga, I think may mga hints na nga na yung mga characters is may parang may parang schizophrenia, kasi literally may boses talaga silang naririnig sa mga ulo nila, and they interpret it as the voice of God, and they follow those voices. And I think it is one of the beliefs of the Mormons na You can hear things on your head, and it's the Holy Spirit or it's from the Holy Father himself, and he is guiding you. So the whole time I was watching, I was really natetest yung patience ko sa all those bullshit about religion, about voices, about faith and all. I've learned a lot of things, na eto pala sila, they listen to these voices and they really interpret it as true. So balik na naman tayo sa contrast, sa religion and the government. So whether you like it or not, ang government natin produce laws in a different way. They produce laws not by a book, magical book. They produce laws not by hearing voices. They produce laws by observing. For example, may na-rape. And then, ganito yung kaso niya, ganito ka-complex yung kaso niya, na-rape siya, blah, blah, blah. They will create a law para ma-prevent na yung ganoon na klase na just talaga ang mabibigay nila na parusa. That happens in religion as well, but namimix yung mga mga hearing of voices, mga unfounded talaga, na based on a magical book lang talaga lahat. I think all of this is just mga tao na gusto lang talaga yung law nila ang mapakinggan and magawing batas. Yung gusto nilang mga desire na mga law ay magawang batas. And the only difference is the methods and the processes that they use. Governments typically use data. These pieces of shit uses magic and hearing voices and a magical book. Everything, all of these fucking religions are just doing the same thing. John Smith did that. The Jehovah's Witnesses are doing that. The Iglesia ni Cristo are doing that as well. And they are no fucking different from any other fucking cults. All of these manipulations are really obvious to me, Like, yung sasabihin na ako ang ama dito sa bahay na to at ako masusunod and ikaw ang taga-suportan. That's fucking sick. That's fucking sick. It's set up in that way para hindi makapag-voice out ng mga babae. They are your equal. I mean, you have brains. You're not two stupid people. You can reason both. So, I don't understand na ang lalaki ang may say finality sa mga decision. So, if ako pala ang may finality, I could corrupt that ideology. I could have like this scene, man. Like this scene. Let me show you this scene. Like, eto na. Pinasok na niya yung kwarto ng anak niya and in-start na niyang i-groom.
God has given me a vigorous sexual spirit. You would accept our sweet girl as your first sister wife.
Yeah, exactly. So you have married a maniakis, that's a pedophile. You've married a person that's into incest relationship, and since walang law, hindi niya makita sa Mormonism book niya, he goes into this adventure to go to the past, uncovers hidden history na hey, okay pala ang Mormonism sa polygamy. So that I am now invoking my rights as the father of this household, na I have the right to marry my own daughter. Diba? So you've created a system in which it's always gonna be unfair kasi you base that on someone's desire lang mga desires lang ni John Smith na magkaroon ng 33 wives. So it's gonna be unfair kasi it's gonna be unfair to the women. Just like the story na nag-rebel si Emma, yung wife ni John Smith. Kasi ayaw niya yung concept ng multiple na women . They were nagmarry sila with that idea na sila lang hanggang sa huli, and suddenly may mga babae na papasok sa life nila. So it's unfair for Emma. But no, the way John Smith justified it is pinulungan siya ng Diyos. Obviously binulungan siya ng Diyos. I would pretend to have those kinds of fucked up ideas, man. If I want my desires to be realized, I would create fucked up stories, and that's what other people do, and that's what John Smith has done. So it's very fucking basic. How can you not see all this shit? That you're just trapped in a religion that's founded by magic and nonsense and illogical na mga thinking. So get out of that. Join a group that's founded in reason, founded on what we observe in reality, founded in science, founded in philosophy, founded in logic and data. Kasi if ganyan yung foundation natin, hindi yung isa lang tao ang magdi-decide na may boses na galing sa kanya. That's irrationality. Kasi pag may for example, see how beautiful our society is. Napakita na siya ang nang-rape. Hindi mo siya agad nilalagay sa prison. 'Di ba? That's the beauty of our society. It's not beautiful to see rape, man. I'm not saying that. The beauty of our society, even though it's not really perfect, it's still fucked up, is that even though nakita na, caught in the act, idadaan pa din sa kaso. Kasi we want to hear the story, we want to hear the full context, even though we already know, man, we saw it. But that's how we are. We want to make sure so that without a shed of doubt, nakakapagbigay tayo ng judgment sa tao. And fair na judgment. Sa level na yun talaga ang nabibigay. I mean, sa mata sa law. Okay? You would want that person to be hanged. I know. I would want that person to be hanged. But we have created a society na hindi revenge porn ang kundi we've created a society para mapalayo itong mga tao sa mga masasamang tao sa atin na mga normal na mga civilian. We separate those people para hindi na sila makakause ng harm, and we hope na they will change para maibalik sila sa society and can function again. We've come that far to be the humanity that we have come, and then yet we are still regressing back. May mga gusto pa na ihang ang mga, I mean, ako gusto ko, I would want corrupt politicians to be hanged in public. That's that's one of my desires. But I wouldn't want that to be written into a law. Really, I don't. Kasi again, it's not solving anything. It's just quenching our thirst. And we have a lot of thirst to be quenched. So wag na lang natin idaan sa mga desires natin, kundi kung what is logical, what is scientific, ano yung sabi ng data, hindi sa kung ano ang sabi ng mga desires ko. Like what these people are following, their fucking desires to fuck women, their desires to not pay taxes.
The more wives we marry, the more children we sire, and the greater the glory in worlds without end.
See? So that's not the Mormonism that the general Mormons believe. This is the fundamentalist na belief. That I think the modern Mormons are just they can't condemn them because it's part of their history, and may mga may mga connivan sila, may mga conspiracy sila. According to their belief, the more wives you have, the closer you are to the heaven, and the more children you have, the higher you go up to this fucking pyramid. So eto din na realize ko, since we are already aware na depressions and anxiety exist, and we are already understand that there is such a thing as a psychopathy, na they are born to desire to kill, they don't have feelings, but there are psychopaths or murderers out there, or would be murderers, that don't kill because they can control their urges. Same thing with pedophiles, that there are people that get attracted to younger or minors, but they don't molest children because they can control their urges. So it's a brain thing, and we have a lot of brain problems, mental health problems, we're not like, it's not the demons, no. So the more I watch this one, the more I see na siguro malaking porsyento talaga ang mentally ill ng mga human beings, and religion is just the fuel to bring forth mentally unstable na society. Kasi ito mga ganitong klase ang madidil mo. How can you even argue with that person? How can I argue with that? I can't. I don't have any atheistic shit logic to combat that person. I wouldn't even dare to to go onto a debate with this kind of people, kasi wala, they're in too deep na into the rabbit hole, and no one can pull them up.
Matilda, to deny your priesthood holder is fornication.
Death. Fornication is punishable by death. So see how they built this kind of system. Napatanong ako sa parents ko nito how can you even convince a person that he or she is is a member of a cult? There's no way for you to convince that person that he is or she is in a cult, and her or his cult is just taking advantage of him or her. So there's no way you can convince that person unless he'd explore outside of his cult, unless he explores. But they can't explore kasi ito na nga, bawal kang kumontra, bawal kang lumabas, bawal kang makipag-communicate sa outsiders. They will even say that the outsiders are filthy human beings and they're lower class than us and they need to be saved. It's a perfect con man's world.
Heavenly Father sent you to me.
Diba?
I know this because I was made by the Holy Spirit the day we met, and I cannot complain because of your righteousness.
Exactly. I mean, if a Mormon sees this, he wouldn't see any problem with it. Why would he be able to see any problem with it? Kasi ito yung tinuro sa kanila. And this is pure manipulation. From the beginning, it's just pure manipulation. It's designed para makontrol talaga ang tao. At para makontrol talaga ang babae. In this particular scenario. It's a man's world. This is a perfect example. How can you fucking argue with this one? If you're a woman, how can you get out of this fucking situation? What if this guy is a rapist? This person. You can't. Because
My darling, stop shining me to my church.
ito yung I mean, this one is common, This is not like unique to believers. This is also a common domestic problem, It's a societal problem na the men really thinks they are the fucking boss.
Let it be a reminder. Sometimes, the closer we are to them, the more we are gonna be persecuted.
I've fucking heard this millions of times, from Facebook, from YouTube, from TikTok, from people. It's one of the common traits for believers. They really think very special of themselves. Like, the more they suffer, the more it's proof na na totoo talaga ang Diyos. I've said that same thing as a conspiracy theorist. The more you argue with me, the more I'm sure that my conspiracy theory is true. Conspiracy theorists and religious people are kind of the same in this fucking way. A perfect example is this one. The more, let it be a reminder, the more we suffer, the more we are sure that the Heavenly Father is so near to us. Kaya tinitest tayo ng mga sobrang mahihirap na mga bagay. It's the same with conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy theorists will say, the more you argue, the more you show me proof, the more you debunk me, the more I'm gonna be convinced with my own conspiracies. Kasi nothing will ever change my mind. Just like this one. The reality is bombarding you now. You are facing the problems now kasi ilang taon ka na binibase mo lang yung mga decisions mo on this magical thought you have in your head. They are not really rational decisions. They're just decisions you made from thin air. Kaya eto na yung mga consequences sa mga decisions mo. And of instead of saying na you've made wrong decisions in the past, it even makes you more sure na totoo talaga ang Diyos mo. Even though this is all the accumulation of your past mistakes. Eto na yung mga past mistakes mo. Na-excommunicate na kasi itong lalaki dito eh. Eto na, lahat ng mga past mistakes mo. Eto na sila. But what did the guy say? The more we get tested, the more God is with us. Shit. The more you prove me wrong, the more my conspiracy theory is true. The more you educate me sa mga dilawans naman and the Marcos apologists, the more you educate me, the more I'm convinced that it was the golden era in the time of Marcos.
You're the one. She called him the one mighty and strong.
Medyo naparelate ako dito. That was a scene between a mom and her favorite son. I feel like I'm the favorite. Dalawa lang kami. So ako yung paboritong anak ng mama ko. Maraming beses kasi yung mama ko na parang nafe-feel niya na ako talaga yung parang John, you are the one. I was growing up at that time kasi ako yung laging may mga dalang impormasyon sa bahay kasi walang access sa internet sila, and yung I'm kind of advanced kasi I'm always on the internet and I know a lot of things and I share that to them, and somehow yung mom ko nafe-feel niya this guy's really amazing, yung anak ko talaga is really awesome, and wala ako napapansin ng mga ganyan klaseng ng mga bata sa neighborhood namin. My son will really be great someday. And I always hear that from her, like I'm like this, parang si Jesus but an atheist version. It's weird to hear that from your mother, and that's the scenario. The fucking only difference is that I'm not a fucking fundamentalist and I'm not a psycho. I didn't treat that as something na sugo talaga ako ng Diyos, and I feel it too, mom. I am the one. No. I always remind my mom na, mom, I'm not special. In the internet, in my circle of friends, I'm not smart. I know a lot of smart people. I know people from UP that are way smarter than me. My information is not special. I'm just relaying them to you kasi wala kayong access. This fucking guy, no, not this one, but this fucking guy, treat it like a message from God. Na I am the one. I need to continue this bullshit and I need to do the God's. Isa din to na common na napapa-intensify yung own narcissism mo kasi the people you're around with feeds your ego. This is the mother feeding her son more ego and narcissistic na mga traits sa kanya.
Well, he called it his journey of truth.
Ito din yung ito din yung parang envy ko sa mga religious community. If you're an atheist, you can't do something like this, na parang mag-journey ka to fellow atheists. What is the real atheism? This shit, mga ganitong tao, they can just wander around and go to communities and be welcomed. This is nakaka-envy. What if ma-fail ako sa life ko? I lost my wife and my family. So I just go out and go to a community that I can start over. And walang ganito sa atheism. So may second chance pa for them. This is really nice, that they can explore and go to other communities and be accepted in the community. Of course, you'll be in a cult na kasi
One that is way.
malayo na to sa civilization
And purpose as a servant of our order, Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Believe that you may be our one.
Ito pa yung mga, aside from his mother, eto pa yung other people outside na, you are the one.
Heard that before.
I've heard that before from my mother.
It's true, I have known.
Ito mga tendency talaga na magbo-bloat up yung ego mo kasi may mga ganito mga, you are the one. You are the chosen one. Ito pa. This is funny.
I will teach you to hear the still small voice of God which whispereth and pierceth.
Again, I'm not gonna continue that one. It's following a process of craziness because they're just following voices, voices that anyone can conjure up on their own brain. Oh, God fucking orders me to fucking rape you, and it is justified. It's unfounded. Its foundation is fucking weak compared to the foundation of our state. Our state is founded on, of course, murder, a lot of murder in our past, a lot of slave owning and all. We have a fucked up past, but at least it's based on what we are observing in our reality, and we are constantly changing because of the new things that we learn. For them, they don't change because may past na sila and they have to follow those fundamental beliefs. They can't change. Kaya nga they always have this parang sampal nila sa mga atheists. You have no objective morality. We have. As if their fucking objective morality is anyway respectable. They are so fucking proud of how they have their objective moral high ground, while we are all subjective people who have subjective beliefs. This is the whole series is just a complete is a complete reflection of what your religion is capable of. If you are gonna continue that lunacy na yung foundation mo is just magic, make believe, and imagination and voices in your fucking head, instead of observing the current reality wherein you need to feed people because they are hungry, you need to heal the sick, you need to help others, not through voices in your fucking head.
Voice in your head.